I started the gallery in 2003, and I've been earning a living by dealing in rare books. My personal background is in fine art, but I decided that I didn't like artists or the art world or anything around it. So, but at the same time, I was getting pretty bored of dealing in books. So I decided to turn the gallery we had then, which was a smaller space, into a gallery. And the first show we did was a kind of situationist thing, which was involved lots of drinking and we had events going on, but it wasn't really a commercial show. But Billy's show was the first commercial show we did with a specific artist, and part of the reason for that was that I'd been in bands myself and I'd recorded at Toe Rag. I was friends with Sex and Ming already, so I knew the kind of circle around Billy, but also I'd dealt with his books as a rare book dealer. So it seemed the fact that he was involved in all the things I was interested in, which was literature, music, and painting. He seemed the perfect person to offer a show to, so he did.
I could tell because it's plain to see. I can tell the way you look at me.
It could be said that he paints continuously. He paints a lot. Well, actually, he paints once a week, but he does it regularly, and he'll paint the same picture many, many times. The pipe smoker. I don't know how many pipe smokers he's painted in his life, but it's a lot, and so. Having said that, that's a particularly good one, and so we've chosen it for the exhibition. What's happening with these paintings is kind of a new thing going on, which is Billy's well known for coming from Chatham, which is a small naval port town, a dock town in North Kent, and it's also quite, there's a lot of poverty there and it's quite run down, but it's very, very parochial. And so people have this idea of Billy being almost like stuck there as this man who refuses to integrate with the wider world. But in fact, Billy through his career has been, played all over the world with his band. He does readings all over the world. He's actually very far from this man stuck in one place. And with some of these paintings, he's actually worked from photographs so he's taken on his travels. And this one is from Iceland, at Alting, which is the place of the first ever Parliament. So, and also in these paintings, he's the character that is kind of him, but he talks about it being like universal man. It could be anyone. Is much smaller. So, and he's actually said that these paintings are by Guy Hamper. Billy likes pseudonyms. It comes to like being in bands, which is the brother of William Hamper, who is Billy's real name. With some of these rougher-looking paintings, which I'd say are more classic Billy Childish, the eye is very big, the person they're very flat, brutal kind of, and there's not a lot of room between the character and the viewer. So they've got two kind of juxtapositions going on here. We have done a couple of poetry readings with Billy here before, which have usually been like free events in the afternoon. We lay on green tea and Billy comes down and reads a few poems to a handful of people. And we try and keep it fairly low-key. With this one, we're actually going to be recording live, and he's going to do a mixture of poetry and blues. So he'll, just like come to himself a guitar and do some blues and poetry. And there's going to be 50 seated places, and we'll record it, and then we'll turn it into a 12-inch record. I didn't think that we'd be able to sell paintings because they seemed very expensive to me. I wasn't, involved in that world at all. But I did know that we could sell his books. We made a little kind of limited edition box set. We made prints. So there's a lot of activity around actual showing the paintings. And Billy being, the prolific, creator that he is, kind of was great to work with because he had all the energy that was necessary to work with the ideas. So we're kind of trying to keep the woodcuts as the affordable alternative and really push the paintings into a little bit more professionalism, I suppose, which is unusual for Billy because he's a real champion of the amateur.